This is Dave Dally with KeizerTV, everybody. We're bringing you a really neat segment, a new segment of connecting our elected officials with young people and parents in Keizer. And we see all our national programs, but we don't always get to see the faces of those of us in Keizer who are living through this pandemic. So we're going to go around and kind of share what it's been like to end our educational year and talk about our strategies going forward with some uncertainties to help hopefully all the other kids in Keizer show how nimble we can be, how we can be resourceful on our future, which even as the three of us sit here, we could get an announcement tomorrow that could add additional change. So I want to introduce Rep Post. Thanks for joining us tonight and share the audiences about education and why has it been important to you in your career?
Well, Dave, thanks. First of all, the interesting thing is, and I know you're going to introduce Michael here in a minute and Patty, but I just want to say to Michael, congratulations, first of all. And I am so sorry that it was not normal, that it was not the things that I remember. And by the way, I graduated about 100 years ago, thereabouts. Actually, it's my 41st, this would be my 41st reunion year. So, but
you're younger than Dad. So.
Oh, hey, okay, good.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll never forget that graduation day and how proud I was to take that tassel and go like that and to take that diploma and walk off that stage and know that I had accomplished something. That was a big deal. And so I'm sorry that you're not having that necessarily, although I think you're going to have something here another week or so. But it wasn't the same. And I'm sorry about that. What I would say going forward, though, Michael, is for me and my family, I was the first of my generation, of my father's generation, of my grandfather's generation to go to college and get a college degree. It was a big deal to my family. But in retrospect, I looked back and my son probably did the wiser thing in that he went into a career of where he's using his hands and his mind and everything. And he didn't go to college. And he's making more money than I ever made. So I would say, don't just limit yourself to, I'm going to college. Because right now, I know of 600 electrician openings in Oregon, 600. And they pay $35, $40 an hour.
Wow.
And you won't make that coming out of college. I don't care what you do. Yeah. So it's just something to think about. And that's why I'm a big fan of the CTEC, the career technical education. So, nice. Michael, that's what I would just leave you with is don't just step off and go into college tomorrow. Look at everything.
Yeah. And rounding our introductions, yes, we've got Michael Tischer, a recent graduate from McNary High School, and his mother, Patti Tischer. And from your guys' perspective, I'll let Michael share first that adaptation from not showing up to school under a very quick announcement. What was that like being at home, but continuing to deal with your classes to finish high school?
I mean, for me being a senior, it didn't take a whole lot because they were very lenient, luckily. You just had to deal with a couple things, a couple little things you had to do, a couple loose ends. But then after that, you were pretty much gone. So they just kind of said, I remember getting a call from my counselor saying, you're all graduated on the high school end. If you want to deal with your AP classes that you have for college credit, you can do that. And then I took my AP test, and that was the last school-related thing I've done for, I don't even remember how long. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So were there SATs? Was there classes to get prepared for the next level college? What's the transition been? Has it just been everything been on hold?
It's pretty much just been, yeah. I managed to find a kind of like a accelerated course for a Shemeketa class. So I took that, did a little something, kind of got a feel for it in between working as well. So yeah, It was just, I've just been kind of making money and trying to deal with the next step. So it's kind of just, what's next,
And,
you know?
and Patty, you as a mother, what was that transition like for him at your kitchen table, and just a fixture this year, months before you plan to have him be done?
Well, and the thing was, he only needed a partial credit to graduate, and so he was taking AP classes, and so it really was just coasting for him, and it just really changed things, where he was like, I don't have to get up. I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And his boss at work immediately had, when he found out, Michael hadn't even given him a chance to say, hey, I'm available to work now. And he just started loading him up with hours. So wow. Michael didn't really get a chance to have any kind of
I love it though.
Downtime. Yeah, he's making money and
making big banks. That's all,
that way. But, so yeah, so it was kind of surreal, and it was just like, wow, you know. But then when we got the call from his counselor and she said, you're done, and you know, it's up to you now what you want to do. And it did kind of change. You know, we had some deadlines that we needed to do regarding some college options, because he did get a partial scholarship offer from Western. And he also had applied to Oregon State. And then he had also been awarded the Oregon Promise. So we had some deadlines that came up that then he had to sit down and figure out what direction, you know, he wanted to do. But everything was just kind of uncertain, you know. And so he decided that probably the best, well, you can share what you want.
I guess so, yeah. I feel the cheapest way for me to just, you know, do something while I'm at work, I can stay at home that way a lot easier. I decided to go to Shemeketa for a couple years to get my associate's degree, at least, to get my feet in, see what's good. And yeah, I find anything that sticks that I like to do. So. Yeah.
Well, Rep Post, Michael works at In-N-Out Burger in Keizer. So if you have any idea of what a transition to, hey, you're home at school at the kitchen table, and then into that panacea of long lines, both in the front door and in the drive-through, that is also...
You got to know the secrets. You got to know the secrets. Michael could tell you, I'm sure. Don't go on the weekend. Don't do the drive up. Walk in. You walk in, and 8 minutes later, you have your cheeseburger, double, animal style with extra grilled onions, and of course, extra toasted bun. I know everything about In-N-Out.
Wow, love it.
In fact, Michael, I'm telling you, the other representatives in the Oregon House, when I stand up and give a speech, they call me the representative from In-N-Out Burgers.
Nice. What a title.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Yeah.
They're good to the employees.
What's not to love about it?
It's a great.
Just in my we have like a little thing for our sick hours, you know, and I have about 70 and a half, give or take, hours worth. So it's just
with COVID added.
Yeah, we added a lot of, I believe it was like 40 some hours, something like that. So yeah.
But we have to congratulate also In-N-Out. We haven't had any issues with employees. I know some other restaurants around the state, it's been difficult, and anyone that close in proximity producing that much food, kudos, and I'm sure their attention to detail is really paramount. Yeah. Good example for a first job, wouldn't you think, Representative Post?
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Great employer. I'm glad to hear that in person from somebody, Michael. That's so I've probably seen you there because between when they opened in December to now, I've been there, believe, 19 times.
But who's counting, right?
Yeah, who's counting?
Well, circling back to education, we're going to be talking to some 8th graders tonight, Michael, and give some advice to a student who's 4 years behind you, coming into McNary. He might be going to school 2 days a week, and he's home 2 days a week. Give some advice to our 8th graders coming in for 4 more years of this. What advice you give to those guys?
Well, I mean, for one, studies are always important. You got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, you don't want to, but I mean, it's a part of life. Everyone does what they want, but what they don't want to do. But at the same time, you got to enjoy the little things, you know? Like, even if every little chance you get to do something, which in this time is not very likely, grab onto it. Like take it and run with it. Because there's so many things that I took for granted. Like prom, I never went to that my junior year. I had the opportunity to do, but I just didn't because I thought senior year I'd be able to, but no dice.
Wow.
That's just one of many things that I didn't get to do, of course, but yeah.
And Rep Post for Michael, as you've kind of learned a little bit about him, his Chemeketa plans, what advice would you give to not only Michael, but all our graduates here at McNary, navigating forward the rest of this year of 2020?
Don't get into politics. But outside of that, yeah, boy, Michael, you said it best. Don't miss the opportunities that, I'm sorry to hear about that. I didn't even think about it. I completely forgot about the proms. Don't miss the opportunities that will be out there. Grab a hold of them. I couldn't put it any better than that. Grab a hold of those opportunities and use them and enjoy everything that you do. Just cherish every moment. And because all of a sudden you'll look like this one day and you'll just be an old man. So don't let it slip by on you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Trust me, I do too in these crazy times. But
yeah. Well, you look like you have a great disposition and you're rolling with it. So kudos to you. I don't know how Representative Post or I would do. We weren't thrown a curveball like this, but the resiliency of you young people in Keizer make us really proud. McNary has such a high standard, and people have gone on to do amazing things. Their alumni association has people in all walks of life making a difference in this planet. So we know you're going to represent McNary Blue with a lot of pride, a lot of character, and we're just proud to talk to you today. And you just give a lot of us hope for the future, not knowing what it is, but with your resiliency, you're inspiring to a lot of folks today. And I want to thank you. And for a mother who's been there at your side. I covered Rep Post. Michael did an Eagle Scout project, and he did one of those library stands at Keizer Rapids Park and donated that for that community to come read a book while your kids are on the big toy. And they have a little group of books there. So he's made a difference in Keizer, and we're just lucky to have a young man like him here. All right, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Check back for more programming here on KeizerTV. Also, please follow the ways to connect with Representative Post, as he is there, is our elected official. So I'm Dave Dally for Michael, Patti, and Representative Bill Post. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.